Hey, what's up everybody, Richie here, and today I'm going to show you how to get on top of the nether and break some bedrock so you can get other stuff up there with some very, very simple materials. You want a 2-block indent in the bedrock, and you want a block above you that says 127, which you can see in the little tab on F3 that says looking at. So when you've got that, you want to put a ladder here, and this might get a little chaotic, so the best thing you need to do, or the most important thing, is try not to panic. So basically what we're going to do is throw the ender pearl up here onto the ladder and then climb up the ladder, and that should get us above the bedrock. But we are going to suffocate for a little bit, so we throw it, and there we go, we're up. Flawless. Okay guys, now here's the clincher. I said this was easy to build, and it is, but it requires one piece of valuable material, and that is an enderdragon egg. Because what we're going to be doing here is glitching this enderdragon egg into this block while it's in a lazy chunk, which, if you don't understand that, is perfectly acceptable. It's very complicated, and I will leave a link to the video that explains it in the description. And for those of you whose enderdragon egg is still floating in the end, the way you break one is just by pushing it with a piston. So the way we want to break this bedrock is by putting a piston in the block before it, and then a block back here, with a redstone torch, just like this, and an enderdragon egg on top of this. And then what we want to do, basically, is just take some redstone out, and then a repeater, and then some more redstone, and we're going to do something kind of technical here, which is put this egg exactly in the lazy chunks. So what you do is set your render distance to 2. Now, if you're on a server, this is going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to set your render distance to the server render distance, which I guess you could ask an admin, but if you don't know, just put it to 16. And then we're going to carry out this redstone line, just like this, until that chunk right there disappears. That piston we can't see anymore, just like that right there. And we want it exactly there, just unloaded, because that is called the lazy chunks, and that's where this magic is going to happen. And now to make this work, we're just going to turn this on and then off again, and hopefully, if everything worked perfectly, there we go. We have the enderdragon egg in the bedrock, and it has broken it. Now, if this doesn't work for you, try moving 16 or so blocks further back. I'm not really sure exactly what causes this, but my thought is that render distance and chunk loading don't exactly line up when you have this small of a render distance. So if it's not working, just keep moving back, and eventually, if you did it correctly, you should get to a point where it does it steadily every time. Upon further investigation of this, I found that it's actually perfect to move 2 seams back instead of 1. So there's our first render seam, which we can see very well because I have fog turned off, and then there is our second render seam. So it's best to be back here when we're doing this, and even a little farther back just to give us some space. Interestingly, this glitch doesn't actually have to take place directly above the block. Like, see that redstone right there? We can just run down to right here, and it will actually still take out that block even though it's above us. So we'll just flick this lever on and off, and when we run over here, that block will actually be gone, which is kind of cool. You'd think it would only take out the block right above it. Alright, so this right here is going to be the last block in this little 3x3 hole I made. And just to clarify, the entire thing I've done here has been done in completely vanilla survival, without any cheats or creative mode. So, we're just going to turn this on and back off, and if we go over here, if we did this all correctly, that last piece of bedrock is gone. And you have no idea how rewarding this feels, because I have given you a method to do this easily, but when I started, I was doing it wrong, and it was taking me about 30 tries for every block I got, which, as you can imagine, consumed just a real ton of time. But now that I know about the double seaming, which is when you go back for the first 2 chunks to unload and then the next 2 chunks to unload, I've got this. I would recommend using this with Optifine, just because you can turn fog off in Optifine, and it'll speed up finding chunk boundaries quite a lot. And you know, this is a glitch, and it may be patched, but personally I hope it's not. Not because we can break bedrock with it, but I just think it's kind of ironic that we can break any block in the game with the rarest block in the game, the enderdragon egg. So anyway, I hope you like this video, I hope you'll be able to do this on your world, and I hope that by following my tutorial you're not gonna have the problems I have and just, like, get stuck and have a really, really hard time. But until the next time, guys, this has been Richie, and I'm out. I'll see you next time.